Gentlemen of the press, you know the routine. If you have a question, you stand up, you mention your name and your...
Yeah, I read your byline.
New Telegraph. Using you.
Thank you.
And other leaders. Thank you all. My question is actually, you did mention that the ruling party, PDP, has not made a commitment to restructure, except their presidential candidate. And he also said that people should support the president, so that probably the presidential position will revert to the southeast in 2023. So my question is, since PDP as a party has not made any commitments, but the presidential candidate of that party has made a commitment. We recall that APC made a commitment as a political party in their manifesto, but their presidential candidate has no commitment, and that is why it appears they have a concerned issue of restructuring to the dustbin. On one hand, don't you think it's better, since Nigerian president is all powerful and Atiku has made that commitment, don't you think he will likely use his powers and influence to work towards actualizing restructuring of this country? That's what. The second question is, your party, UPP, which you are the national chairman, only a few days ago adopted President Buhari as a presidential candidate. And today, you are leading IGBOEZUE cultural to do similar thing. Is it not the same group? You accuse some leaders of people of selfishness. Is this not also another selfish campaign or gambit to also take the other way against the other group? Thank you.
Okay. You asked two questions. The issue of restructuring is not what you leave in the hands. Such a serious national issue that you cannot leave it at the whims and caprices of an individual. A party manifesto is a social contract between the party and the Nigerian people, for which the people can hold that party accountable. You cannot hold an individual accountable. I'll give you an example. When President Obasanjo came, he said he would do one term. He didn't do one term. Nobody took him to court. President Jonathan said he would do one term. He didn't. President Buhari said he would do one term. He didn't. Vice President Atiku said he would do one term, but his program he rolled out is for 6 years, which means he has already rolled out a program that will lead into a second term. This is with regard to what individuals can say and the extent to which can hold them responsible. The issue of restructuring, outside of being a serious matter that must contain in the party manifesto and the objective principles of its constitution, is also a matter for the National Assembly. If we are trying to shift blames now, there's area we can go, we won't live here. Because we have had the National Assembly that our people have headed for a long time, including constitutional amendment committees in which our own son has been presided over in two regimes, 7th and 8th Assembly. What are the propositions made for which if the president says he will not sign or will not his veto can be overturned by the National Assembly? So we don't leave this to the whims and caprices of just one person. So restructuring is a serious matter, and we believe more. The APC that has set up the Erufai committee that went around Nigeria and came back with recommendations on restructuring far-reaching recommendations that touched on most of the things we want to see in a restructured Nigeria, and submitted a report to his National Executive Committee, which accepted it. All is needed now is for them to incorporate it in their manifesto and register it with INEC. But before then, they already have restructuring, which has not been implemented. It is left for the party to implement. And when you engage, as we are going to engage them, we have already engaged. We said we will be, that is the party address, this is purely Igbo. The party address at Abuja, we said we will continue to explore possibilities of bringing our core values to bear in that engagement. Let me tell you the power of engagement. Our governors left here and if I traveled, I returned with most of them yesterday. Went to Abuja, led by some of our leaders, to go and tell the president some of our prayers. Before, according to Governor Mahi, he went there to thank the president for all he had done already, and then requested him to do more. And the man made definite commitments with regard to roads, with regard to the second Niger Bridge, with regard to the airport at Enugu. And I listened to Governor Sullivan Chime yesterday, who recalled that as governor, PDP governor, they made similar trips to PDP presidents, not one. And in each case, they came out empty-handed. So, that is with regard to those who want to remain in their PDP, please let them remain there. But don't state that your position is Igbo position. Say that it is PDP Igbo that has taken that position. And if you want to tell Igbo people what you got out of them, for them, tell us. Don't tell us that we have been Minister of Economy, coordinating economy, or Minister of Finance, or we have been SGF, when the only way you can see evidence of that is in the immediate families of the occupants of those offices. You come to the issue of whether the statement you are making is selfish or not. I asked one deputy governor that met me yesterday, coming back to the East, when he raised this issue. I said to him, please, if you are asked, if somebody advises you to put your eggs in one basket, will you take that advice? He looked around, he said, no. So this is what you people have made us look like. If you do not know it that we have become object of caricature in Nigerian politics. It is the Igbo man that they will give another person from South a nickname Azikiwe, and we shall simply go to sleep and say it's our son. This time, what are they using? Running mate. But we have forgotten that Dr. Alex Ekweme, with all his profile, education and exposure, was vice president, not running mate. All of us know what happened. At any point in time, they have one little thing to mislead all of us. Now, IGBOEZUE has been in contact with all the extant Igbo groups in Nigeria. We have been to a place in northern Guzo where you have Igbo settlements for about 400 years. When you do things like this, you don't remember they are there. Dr. Azikiwe was born in Zingeru. Those who were there before he was born are still there, their families. We are many. We are widely spread. We have multi consultation. I can tell you that IGBOEZUE is in touch with all the Igbos in Nigeria. They are in touch with all the Igbo Community Association leaders in Nigeria. That is what we refer to as the Igbo Grid. And who is the chairman of an Igbo Community Association? Igbo Community Association is an association of all town unions in every state. Every community in Igbo land has a town union branch. And all of them come under Igbo Community Association, and they have leadership. So our consultation is not just about coming to Enugu and having a beer and a compromising hug. Our consultation is reaching out to all of these people. And we are going to change the narrative so that we will not lose out I'm not recommending moving our eggs from one basket to another. I'm recommending sharing our eggs. Igbo tụrụ ilu ọ kwasịrị nwe ya ịtụtụ ji ịtụtụ mgbọrọgwụ ka ọ ga-abụ onye ji gụrụ ji ya onye mgbọrọgwụ iwere mgbọrọgwụ dị ndụ. Igbo tụrụ ilu si ijebe nnọ anyị ndebe anyị na-akpọ ya nnọ ga-ejide ọnwa abụọ maka na ama onye onyugharịa. Igbo toro buru ibu na ihe gbasara akọla uche. Onwe gọvanọ onye Igbo a serving gọvanọ mụ na ya nọ na-ekwu wiki gara aga m si ya biko gwatụkwala m ọma nwee n'onwe ihe mma ịmaghị mbụ ihe ịma mụ amaghị. Tell me, is there any project anywhere in Igbo land that PDP started and completed in 16 years? He didn't hesitate to tell me there's none. Do you know that Aba, what we call Aba Industrial Village, covers 9 out of the 17 local governments in Abia State, would have been enjoying 24-hour power supply from geometrics since 2010. And that plant will be dropped, a high power tension to be dropped at Nnewi and Onitsha. Since 2010, these major commercial and industrial hubs in Igbo land would have been enjoying 24-hour power supply. But it was PDP that immediately took what the entire Southeast, including that project that was about to be commissioned, and gave to a company called EEDC. And when you look, if you unveil EEDC, you will know the owners of EEDC. And they are still around. Port Harcourt Okorie Airport was built with money donated by Nigerians, Igbo people, old Imo. Some were taxed, some donated. And the idea was to build a cargo airport. And a cargo airport was built with the type of runway required for cargo, with the size to take big-bodied aircraft for carrying containers. And this was donated to the federal government without asking for compensation. All that people required was to put runway lights so that these aircraft can land in the night and discharge their cargoes. If that happened, there won't be congestion in Apapa. The extra cost of air freighting will be written off by the demurrage our people pay in Apapa. And all the dangers they go through during custom checks all the way to Igbo land. Enugu Airport is the only international airport I know anywhere in the world that aircraft cannot land in the night. All these things happen under PDP. And that is the package that our governors went 2 days ago to request the president to address, which he, of course, when you look at the roads, the construction is going there. And he told them that it was the National Assembly that delayed the passage of that part of the contract to have completed these projects because they were ongoing. Second phase of Niger Bridge, first phase has been completed. Second phase, 200-something billion awarded, not private partner, public-private partnership, direct government funding. So if the man said we'll give him 5% and he is able to do this, there's so much more he can do if we engage him properly. Thank you. Yes.
My name is Regis. There is one question in that place which I expected you to answer.
Remind me.
That question is, you are now dragging IGBOEZUE to support the potential candidate of the APC. Just making the same mistake which you are saying the
okay, let me address it. I thought when I told you IGBOEZUE's linkage with all the extant groups, you would have understood that it's not everybody that is a politician or a card-carrying member of a political party. You must have an arrangement in which those who are not members of the party, but who are Igbo people all the same, who feel the same pain that all of us feel, where they can ventilate their own views and give their support or not give it by not belonging. That is what IGBOEZUE is having. And don't forget, I mentioned in this paper which we are holding, that what we are trying to do is similar to what Igbo State Union, which was a socio-cultural organization, did with NCNC. So I thought I had answered that, but it's okay you raise it, I'm re-emphasizing it. As for the selfishness of it, let us look at, I don't want to be boastful here, but in 42 years of my 65-year life, I've devoted myself to fighting Igbo cause. I've not used Igbo to buy a spare tire. I've not used Igbo to occupy a position, and I'm eminently qualified to be anything. If I want money, I wouldn't have founded ABGA. Founding political party is not a lucrative venture. Perhaps you may wish to know that as we stand today, there are 91 political parties registered. Nearly 30 of them have Igbo chairmen. Nearly 30 of them. So how come it's only 2 that there are people know as their party, ABGA and UPP? And incidentally, the 2 of them were founded by one man. Can't you see that there is a divine calling in that one man to do something? And failing to do it, God will not be happy with me. One thing nobody will accuse me of is selling out on Igbo. If anybody accuses me, I will challenge him to present his Igbo profile. If he's richer than my Igbo profile, I'll bow for him. I want to see the person. And it's an open challenge. Some of the professors, some of them came to me. I said to them, you have all graduated, worked, taught up to the highest level, retired with your pension and gratuity, and returned to do Ohaneze. My membership of Ohaneze is 42 years. Ohaneze is 42 years. I have nowhere to go for my pension, nowhere for gratuity. It's all fighting for Igbo, and I have no regrets. When I was going about with people, some of them here, to register, I was called names. Some people called me 419. Some said I was just looking for money to feed. When Chekwas was doing well, we had a football club in Enugu. But still, some people who didn't know what I was doing for a living branded me. Sometimes I will go to an Igbo man, they confess later. Say, please assist, this thing is beginning to be burdensome. He will say, well, you know, things are a bit difficult, I will support you next time. And perhaps, without knowing that I had not gone far, I will hear the same person calling somebody to say, that madman has just left here. That mad venture resulted in ABGA. And ABGA was only 2 years, still in his gestation period, when he was hijacked and turned into a cash cow. I fought for 8 years to save the soul of ABGA. I fought with my money. They fought me with government money. Now here we are with UPP. 6 years, nobody has come to hijack it because we have developed it. This is now tiger, no longer cock.
That's right.
Chucky, mama, yeah. Ojozi.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the way you spoke. There's this saying: if you look at an old woman, you may think she was never admired by any young man. And if I begin to look at the way you're marshalling out your points, you look as if you have gotten the whole Igbos on your side.
No.
People run quickly to say that Igbo people, they always go for money. And if people say that Chekwas has now sold you, they will not be, I don't think they will be mistaken by saying that IGBOEZUE has now sold you. By telling them, because IGBOEZUE is now synonymous with IGBOEZUE, which is equally synonymous with UPP.
Amen.
Now, I would have preferred that you answered your father's name. You have a political party. a formidable one. And you have convinced us here that virtually in every part of Nigeria, you have people there. They've been sojourned many years. Why couldn't you have mustered them to support UDP instead of pushing them to a man which so many people have gotten with? There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
I don't want to deceive myself. Others can go ahead and say.
No, can I address you?
And you address me when I'm done.
Okay.
So, what I want you to do is, why not as a political party? Come out, stand on your feet, answer your father's name. If you fail, you fail. If you pass, you pass. Just like you did in Africa. The time you boasted that you held the soul of Africa.
It's true.
It's true.
The soul is in UPP now. Okay. No, the
project that soul.
Well,
to make people follow you.
no, I think you are repeating. You are repeating yourself. But let me. Why are you clapping? No, listen. Let me address my brother. Let me address you and address us. One thing I have. It is so easy. He said what you want me to do. That is interesting. The interesting thing is that what he would want me to do. And that is your opinion. But I have done it before. What you want me to do now is what I have done all my life. Answering that name, and I'm still answering my father's name. I ran for president in 2015. First of all, when we founded ABGA, we zoned the presidential ticket to Southeast. 7 top Southeast political leaders, we went to their homes to come and fly the presidential flag, all declined, except for one that is dead. The rest are still alive. The Modume Wojuku was a last resort. And that was when I convinced Justice Zozobu to come and convince the Modume Wojuku to join our party. And that happened on the 24th of December 2002. And the moment he agreed, some of you will still remember who were here then. On 2 days after, 26th, I went to Zodiac Hotel and proposed the Modume Wojuku. On the 10th of January 2003, I raised his hand at the old parade ground at Abuja and gave him the flag. The Modume Wojuku joined the UPP ABGA 6 months after it was founded, based on this arrangement. It was for his running for president that President Obasanjo invited me. I have said this publicly, it's been published before, but some people ask questions as if they don't remember that I have a track record, an antecedent in this struggle. President Obasanjo said to me that I committed political sin by making the Modume Wojuku presidential candidate. And the moment I did that ABGA became a national security issue. Who was used to destroy ABGA? Was it a Yoruba man?
No.
Or was it a Hausa man? You people were here. I never heard that you, my brother, raised one pen, one sentence in the tabloid to say, this thing that is being destroyed is our own, is not good. Never did it. I was allowed to roast, and I roasted for 8 years. And I said, no, the vision cannot die. We founded another one and zoned it to the Southeast again. No, but this time we said we won't go begging people to run. But nobody came. On the eve of our convention, he moved the motion that Chief Flint Obiekwe, that why are we looking for presidential candidate when I'm here, who said all sorts of nice things, and the NEC approved that I should run. December, 3 months to election. I ran with my national secretary as running mate. How many votes did I get? I was called a spoiler. That our son Azikiwe was president, and Chekwas Okorie wants to reduce his vote. That was the way PDP attacked me. I waited for a defense, even from people like you. I didn't get any. And now, here we are.
knowing one lesson I have learned is that Igbo people are not cut out for opposition. That is the truth. They are not cut out for opposition. So if you are trying to mobilize them to join you in opposition, you simply be swimming against the tide. So we needed to grow this party. I could have simply dropped everything and purchased a APC membership card, like Ken Namani did, like Chekwas Okorie did, like O'Sullivan Chimeji, and so many others who have benefited from PDP. I'm not a turncoat. I never belonged to PDP. I never benefited, so I never abandoned them to go to anywhere. But all your great sons who give titles up and down have almost jumped from pitching from one flower to the other. I boast that I remain the most consistent Igbo politician that exists.
No doubt about that.
So why should I just be continuing to carry people and say, let us remain in opposition? You remain there, answer your father's name. Join me now to answer your father's name. You won't. Use your position to write so that we can join our father's name from your own small angle. You will not. But Chekwas has sold. I sold something that you cannot see. When others sell, you see them, private jet, you see buildings, home and abroad. So I might sell my own and throw it into the ocean. Yeah.
My name is